Robert says, Happy Sabbath. I know being tempted isn't a sin, but is tempting other people a sin?
I grabbed a couple verses on that one, directly on point from Jesus. I think, and maybe Tina, you have some other verses, but like Matthew 18:6. I think Matthew 18:6 is the most on point. And Jesus says, whoever causes one of these little ones who believe in me to sin, it would be better for him if a millstone were hung around his neck and he were drowned in the depth of the sea. So Jesus talking especially about causing, little children and I would say even people weak in the faith to sin, but that will cover anybody.
Mhm.
You don't want to cause anybody sin. Matthew 5:19, similar, but it says like, whoever therefore breaks one of the least of these commandments and teaches men so shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whoever does and teaches them, he shall be great in the kingdom of heaven. I mean, God wants us to really be teaching people about God's law, how to keep it. And at the end of the day, God's law is about love, and it's about good, solid relationships. And I mean, that's how God's kingdom works, why it's paradise. And if we're causing people to not value relationships, to not to love, we're anti-heaven.
Yeah.
Tina, do you have anything to share?
Yeah, really quick. So when you look at the Bible and looking at God's character, because we're trying to be like Christ, right? We want to be Christians. And in James chapter 1, verse 13, it says, let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted by God, for God cannot be tempted by evil, nor does he himself tempt anyone. So God never tempts anybody. However, on the contrast, in Matthew chapter 4, verse 1, it says, then Jesus was led up by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. And so to tempt others is to not be like God, because God doesn't tempt others, but it's to be like the devil, because the devil, that's all he does is tempt people. So yes, is it a sin to tempt people? Absolutely, because it's reflecting the character of Satan, which is not the character of God. God's character, like you're saying, is a character of love. And God doesn't want people to fall into sin, tempt people into sin, because that's going to cause them to lose their salvation. And so that absolutely is not an act of love or an act of God to tempt anyone.
Yep.